All of these questions have been taken from the mini assessment place value booklet on Twinkl. Let's give them a go. Question 7. Sammy has written some large numbers in words and numerals but has made some errors. Can you spot and explain his mistakes? For the number 852,243, Sammy wrote 8,522,043 in words. And as we can see, there are no millions in this question, so we can see he has already made a mistake. So if we wrote out the number that Sammy says he has written out, we have the digits 8,522,043. So we can see that some of our numbers are in the wrong place value, and that's what we need to write. Sammy has identified the wrong place value for each digit up by one place. Obviously not all of them are in the wrong place, but majority are, and so it doesn't make the same number. So you could either write what I just said, Sammy has identified the wrong place value for each digit up by one place, or you can write Sammy should have written and then you would write the correct number. So 852,000 comma 243, and that would give you the answer. And part B, for 6,493,000 in words, Sammy wrote 6,400,093. So what he should have written is 6,493,000. So he's confused. So Sammy has confused So Sammy has confused 93,000 for just 93. Next question. Question 8. Question 8 is a little bit like a riddle because you've got to find 3 numbers that satisfy all the following statements. And it can get tricky. So take it step by step to help you, and it might help you to write out the digits, almost like hangman, so that you can add in what you know as you go, so that you know what digits have to be in what place. So we know the number, because it's a 6-digit number, I've given us 6 digits. And we know it's greater than 900,000. So because there is no other number that is 6 digits that starts with anything bigger than 9, we know it's always going to have a 9. And I know I'm reading these out of order, but it might help you to understand it a little bit more, putting in what we know before we start. So that's that one done. We know the tens digit has to be a 6. So that's our second number. We know this number has to be less than 5. So we know that it must be a 0 or a 2. And I'll tell you why in a minute once we've done the rest, because it says it's even as well. And then we know the number is odd in the ones digit. So this one is going to be odd, and it has to be greater than 5, so we can have 7 or 9. And the reason why we couldn't have 4 is because if we add 9 plus 6 plus 7, we get 22. And then if we add 9 plus 6 and 9, we get 24. And it says the total sum of digits is 24. So we know that if we use the number 9, our other digits have to be zeros. And if we have a number 2 in there, or a 0, somewhere else there needs to be a 2 if we're using 7 in our ones digit. So our first possible option is 900,069, because we've got it's greater than 900,000. Our 1,000 digit is even and is less than 5. Our tens digit is 6 and our ones digit is odd and it's greater than 5. So it's 9 and it adds up to 24. Another option is 910,167. So again, we've got our 9, we've got our 0, we've got our 6 and we've got our 7, but obviously we needed 9 plus 6 plus 7 gives us 22, so we need to have another 2 somewhere, so we've split it across our 10,000 and our 100. Another option is 902,067. So we've got our 9, we've got our 2 in the thousands, we've got our 6 and we've got our 7 in the ones, and that adds up to 24. And then the last option you could have is 920,067. So similar to this one, our total of 2 into the 10,000 column. Next question. Here are some of the most populated cities in England. Order the cities in size of their population from greatest to smallest. So we can already see our greatest number. So if we were to put our commas in, and that will help us see our place value a little bit clearer. So we can already see our greatest number is this one, because we've got 9 million. So we're going to put that for our greatest, number 1. Our next number, so we're looking for the next biggest million that's less than 9, and that would be the 2 million. So Birmingham is our second biggest. We've only got one other one that's got a population over 1 million. So we've got New Manchester. So now we need to look at 818,800 and 837,500 carefully. So we see which is the smallest or which is the biggest, whichever way around you want to do it. So our 8s are the same, and our first digit that's different are our 1s and our 3 in our 10,000. So we can see 3 is greater than 1. So Newcastle is number 4 and Sheffield is number 5. Next question. Complete the table to show the temperature changes in these cities in the months shown. So we're looking at what the temperature change would be from 9 degrees to 4 degrees. So the difference, so 9 subtract 4 is 5, but because we've subtracted and it's temperature, it's negative 5 degrees, because that's the difference. Now going from 4 degrees, and we're subtracting 6 from 4, so we're going to be going into the negatives. So 4, subtract 4 is 0, subtract another 2 would be negative 2 degrees. And that's, so 4 subtract 6 is negative 2. Something, for Sydney, something plus 2 is 26. So we're going to subtract 2 from 26, and that gives us 24 degrees. 26 to 19 degrees, we're subtracting 7 degrees. To go from negative 7 degrees to negative 10 degrees, we're subtracting 3 degrees in Moscow. And to go from negative 10 degrees to 2 degrees, we're adding 12 degrees. Next question. Question 11. A factory makes fruit bars. They make 18,023 on Monday, 14,230 on Tuesday, 9,541 on Wednesday, 12,035 on Thursday, 13,602 on Friday. By rounding each day's total to the nearest thousand, estimate how many fruit bars they made that week. Show your working out. So this would be more than a 1 mark question. Don't go doing this question in your head, because this question wants to you to show your working out. So let's show our working out. So 18,023 to the nearest thousand is 18,000. Tuesdays is 14,230 to the nearest thousand is 14,000. And as you can see, this will come in handy. Try and keep your place value, if you have space when you're doing questions, in the correct place value, because then it will help you to add them up at the end. 9,541 to the nearest thousand is 10,000. 12,035 to the nearest thousand is 12,000. And 13,602 to the nearest thousand is 14,000. And now we're going to add all of those up. So I like to look if I can add anything that makes 10, and then it makes it simpler. So 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14, plus another 4 is 18. We need to make sure we've got our place value zeros, because 5 zeros add up to 0, and so on and so on. And then we need to carry our 1. 5 lots of 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So on estimate, but this week they make 68,000 fruit bars. Thank you for watching Miss Young Tutors. I hope you now understand how to answer place value questions a little bit more, and hopefully this mini assessment has helped you to see any gaps that you might need to quickly revise before the SATs exams in May. If this video has helped you, please like and subscribe and even leave a comment, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.